Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hockey Talk TG. I'm Ty Glenn. You're listening to this on YouTube, Spotify, where you get your local podcast stream platforms. So before we get into the topics for today, just want to apologize for not doing a episode yesterday. Now it's my plan to do it because we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But thanks for playing that day, and I wasn't able to do it with you guys. So just want to apologize on that. Obviously, you hate to see that things don't turn out the way you planned, and now it's the case for me yesterday because other things came across my mind I had to do, so I wasn't able to do a episode with you guys yesterday, but we're going to make up for it today. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, and I hope to gain more followers on here. I mean, your friends are not following this podcast. Tell them to follow this podcast. It's the number one podcast for all things hockey. Anyway, we're going to get into the big topic for today. The Florida Panthers hold on for the 2-1 win, and they win the Stanley Cup, their first Stanley Cup in franchise history, and they get it done against the Edmonton Oilers. They win the series 4-3. They win Game 7 2-1. And Sam Reinhart, he had the game-winning goal in the second period without a doubt in mind. I knew the Florida Panthers were going to get it done. I knew they were going to win the Stanley Cup. It was not the Oilers year. I do feel bad for Connor McDavid, though. It was not the Oilers year. I do respect their playoff run. I do respect the hustle to get there. But it was just not their year on winning the Stanley Cup. Florida is too good of a team for the Edmonton Oilers. And even though the Oilers pushed them to Game 7, they could not cap it off with the dub. So it was the Panthers that came out with the win, and it was just not the Oilers year. Like I said, I do feel bad for Connor McDavid because I really wanted to see him win the Stanley Cup, but it was just not his year. But eventually, before he retires, he will get one. Hoping so. At least Oilers fans are hoping so. Pretty much every hockey fan is hoping that Connor McDavid gets his name on the Stanley Cup. We could have seen it this year, but we all knew. Actually, the majority of you guys predicted Edmonton would win. Some of us, like me, predicted the Panthers would win, and they got it done. They lost last year to the Vegas Golden Knights. Matthew Tkachuk said, "We'll be back." They were back, and they won the Stanley Cup. So. And despite the Oilers losing, Connor McDavid took home the Conn Smythe Trophy for MVP in the playoffs. He did not come out and receive the trophy. I don't know why. I do get that you lost. You wanted to cap it off with a Stanley Cup win. But, hey, if I were Connor McDavid, I would have at least came out there and took the Conn Smythe Trophy and then just went off. So, yeah. But, yeah, he'll eventually get his name on the Stanley Cup. For those of you saying that Sergei Bobrovsky should have won it, you have not been watching the playoffs at all. Connor McDavid was electrifying in the playoffs. He set up numbers. I think he passed one of Wayne Gretzky's records in the playoffs. So he's been doing absolutely phenomenal in the playoffs. And that's why he was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy, not just for what he was doing in the playoffs, but what he was doing in the Stanley Cup Final, putting up big numbers for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Sergei Bobrovsky, no doubt one of the best goalies, well, probably the best goalie in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But for a goalie standpoint, I can't really say too. Well, actually, I can't really say too much about the goalies because I never played goalie in my life when I be playing hockey, so I can't really say too much about that. But he was just not he wasn't really awarded for Conn Smythe Trophy. I didn't think he is a fantastic goalie, no doubt, but I just didn't think he deserved it. I think it should have went to Connor McDavid, and it did, so that's why he deserved it. I can't really say too much about the goalies because, like I said, I never played goalie in my life. When I was playing hockey, I was always the right wing position, skater wise, so I can't really say too much about goalies. But yeah, congratulations to the Florida Panthers once again on winning the Stanley Cup. If you guys didn't see my TikTok video, I did post a TikTok video where I Gave a little tribute to the Florida Panthers on losing the Stanley Cup final last year and then coming back as Stanley Cup champions this year. So go watch that video if you haven't. For the TG Hockey channel, I'm working on a mini movie to put out on there about the Florida Panthers going all the way to win the Stanley Cup, winning their 16 games to get to the Stanley Cup. That will be out in a couple days. It's just going to take a couple days for me to work on it and for me to publish it out on the TG Hockey channel. And if you're not subscribed to that channel yet, make sure you subscribe to that channel. We are on the road to 400 subscribers on that channel. Along with this podcast, we're trying to gain some more followers and stuff on this podcast. So if you have a friend who's a huge hockey fan or a casual hockey fan and they are not following this podcast, share this podcast with them. Tell them to follow it. Tell them it's the number one podcast for all things hockey. And yeah, just make sure you follow and subscribe to the podcast if you have not already. So yeah, but huge game for Sergei Bobrovsky in Game 7, making 22 saves on 24 shots faced the net. And like I said, even though I doubt the Oilers this entire playoffs, I doubt them actually I already knew they were going to win against the Kings. But we didn't expect the Oilers to be in the playoffs. I mean, they started like 2-9-1 at the start of the season. They had a bad record. They fired their head coach, Jay Woodcroft. They brought in Chris Conblock. Halfway or midway through the season, they went on a 16-game win streak or point streak. I couldn't remember which one it was. They finished second in the division this year, just like they did last year. They're in the playoffs. Everybody knew they were going to beat the LA Kings in the first round. So, and then you got a very good Vancouver Canucks team who I think it was either them or Dallas who were the top seed in the Western Conference. And majority of the people had the Canucks winning. And the Oilers, they came out with the win in Game 7. So I doubt them in the second round against Vancouver. Conference final, you got Dallas, you got Edmonton. Would have been cool to see the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup final, just like their counterparts, the Dallas Mavericks, in the NBA finals against the Boston Celtics this year. I doubt them against the Stars. I didn't think they were going to get it done against the Dallas Stars because Dallas just had way too many star power. Would have been cool to see Joe Pavelski win the Stanley Cup, but I think this will be the last NHL season for him. I think he's going to hang up the skates. He's going to retire. I don't think he's going to be playing anymore. But yeah, I doubt them against they weren't going to get it done against Dallas. They did. They went to Stanley Cup final, and they ended up losing. But they did push the Panthers to a Game 7. They avoided getting sweep. For them, it was – sorry, I did not mean to move this. For them, it was all about belief. All about belief for the Edmonton Oilers. But they couldn't get it done. But I do respect – with that being said – I do respect the grind. I do respect the hustle. I do respect I do respect them overall. I was trying to find a third word. I couldn't. I do respect them for doing what they're doing, getting all the way to the Stanley Cup final, and despite having a bad start to the 2023-2024 season, will they be back in the playoffs? No doubt they'll be back in the playoffs. I don't know if they'll have a big run like they did this year. We'll just have to see what the offseason looks like for the Edmonton Oilers. But they're going to rest up. They're going to be back. And hopefully Connor McDavid gets his name on the Stanley Cup. I think his contract for the Edmonton Oilers is supposed to run through the 2025-2026 season. I think he signed an 8-year deal back. I couldn't remember when he signed that 8-year deal, but I saw NHL Network that his contract is supposed to run through the 2025-2026 season. So hopefully he gets Edmonton to another Stanley Cup. The Canadian Stanley Cup drought continues to, since the Oilers couldn't get it done. The last Canadian team, I should say, to win the Stanley Cup was the 1993 Montreal Canadiens. They got it done against the LA Kings. Wayne Gretzky was on that team then. So, yeah. So, Canada's Stanley Cup drought continues to continue, and we don't know when it will be the day that a Canadian team will take home the Stanley Cup. All right, so moving on from that. So the Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2024 inductees. This was announced either Wednesday. I think it was announced yesterday, Wednesday. So it will be Pavel Datsyuk, it will be Shea Weber, it will be Jeremy Roenick, David Poile, and former United States women national team forwards Natalie Darwitz and Chrissy Wendell Poe and Colin Campbell. Not that he's on the team, but he's another player that will be in the Hockey Hall of Fame in this year. So we all know about Pavel Datsyuk. He's a two-time Stanley Cup champion with the Detroit Red Wings. He won in 2002. He won in 2008. He's also known as the Magic Man because of his amazing dangles and stick handling moves that he does out on the ice. He won the Selke Trophy as the league's best defensive forward for 3 straight seasons from 2007 to 2010, and the Lady Byng Trophy that's awarded to the player who exhibited sportsmanship and conduct combined with a high standard playing ability for 4 straight seasons from 2006 to 2009. He had 918 points, so 314 goals, 604 assists for 918 points right there, and was plus 249 in 953 regular season games and had 113 points, and was plus 34 in 157 Stanley Cup playoff games. So 42 goals, 71 assists for 113 points in 157 Stanley Cup playoff games. Internationally, Datsyuk won the 2018 Pyeongchang Olympics and at the 2012 IIHF World Championship and a bronze medal at the 2002 Salt Lake City Olympics. So in Russia's KHL League, Datsyuk won the Gagarin Cup, the league's championship, and he was also a 2-time KHL All-Star for 2012, from 2012, 2013, and 2016, 2017. So 2013, 2017, he played in the KHL All-Star game. So I want to touch on this. Pavel Datsyuk absolutely deserves to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. I was hoping that one day Pavel Datsyuk will be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame this year, deservingly so, because of all the amazing abilities that he can do on and off the ice. He did retire from the NHL in 2016. He made his NHL debut in 2001. So one of those years he made his NHL debut, but he retired from the NHL in 2016, and he deserves to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. All right, next up is Shea Weber. So, of course, Shea Weber played with both the Nashville Predators and Montreal Canadiens from 2005 to 2021. And he had 589 points in 1,038 games, so 224 goals, 365 assists for 589 points for Shea Weber. He had 42 points in 97 playoff games, so 18 goals, 24 assists for 42 points in 97 Stanley Cup playoff games. And Shea Weber was also in the first team NHL All-Star in 2010, 2011, and 2011-2012. Second team All-Star in 2013, 2014, and of course during the 2014-2015 season. Won a gold medal with Team Canada at the 2010 Vancouver Olympics and the 2014 Sochi Olympics. He also won the 2016 World Cup of Hockey and 2007 World Championship and 2005 IIHF World Junior Championship. So another player that deserves to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Of course, Shea Weber came in that Montreal Canadiens trade. So Shea Weber, PK Subban, they were traded for each other, but it would have been cool to see both of them play on the same team. Like both of them, both Shea Weber, PK Subban, both great NHL players doing their time in the NHL. Both of them. Well, PK Subban's retired. Shea Weber, I'm assuming is retired because he hasn't played since 2021. So I'm assuming he's retired. PK Subban is retired. He's an analyst for ESPN. But both of them were great defensemen, and both of them were known for their slap shot because both Shea Weber and PK Subban had a great slap shot. And that's what I've seen from both of them. They're both, well, to me, they were both known for their amazing slap shot ability on the ice. Like when they wind it up, it's be like a big slap shot. And I did like PK Subban's celly during his time in the NHL. Like he always do that little archer celly right there. Really did like that celly. And yeah, just great defenseman. And I really wish both PK Subban and Shea Weber were playing. I wish they were playing on the same team because it would have been unreal to see how they would do on the same team. But they didn't play with each other, unfortunately. And yeah, both of them are retired. I'm assuming Shea Weber's retired because he hasn't played since 2021. PK Subban, we all know, is an analyst for ESPN. All right, next person to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame is Jeremy Roenick, who did play for my Chicago Blackhawks. He had 1,216 points in 1,363 regular season games, so 513 goals, 703 assists for 1,216 points right there. Of course, like I mentioned already, Jeremy Roenick did play for the Chicago Blackhawks. Other teams that he's played for were the Phoenix Coyotes, when the Coyotes were a team in the NHL. He played for the Philadelphia Flyers, the LA Kings, and San Jose Sharks, and put up 122 points in 154 Stanley Cup playoff games, so 53 goals, 69 assists for 122 points in 154 playoff games. He won a silver medal with the United States at the 2002 Salt Lake City Olympics and the 1991 Canada Cup. So I'm guessing he's part American and part Canadian, because to me that did not make no sense at all. But I wish he wouldn't won the Stanley Cup. It would have been cool to see JR with a Stanley Cup, but unfortunately he didn't win one. But I would have loved, well, actually he was playing before my time, so but still would have been cool to see him win a Stanley Cup. All right, so next person to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame is Natalie Darwitz. So, of course, she played for the United States at the 2002, 2006, and 2010 Olympic Games. She only won 2 silver medals and a bronze medal, 1 bronze medal with the United States. She also represented her country in 8 World Championships, winning 3 gold medals, 5 silver medals, and being named the best forward in 2008. She also played at the University of Minnesota, and she won a national championship with them in 2005, and she had the game-winning goal at that time. So congratulations to Natalie Darwitz. Another person to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame this year, Chrissy Wendell-Pohl. So she also played for the United States. So just like Natalie Darwitz, she also played with the U.S. Women's National Team from 1999 to 2007. She scored 106 goals in 147 games. She won a silver medal at the 2002 Olympics and a bronze medal at the 2006 Olympics. And she was captain at that time. She also played in 6 IIHF World Championships, including 2005. And she was named the MVP at that time. In the United States' first ever gold medal win. She also won a silver medal 5 times. So congratulations to Chrissy Wendell-Pohl. Now David Poile, he's general manager, but he deserves to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. I do remember him only being the general manager for the Nashville Predators, but he was also the general manager for the Washington Capitals, and he played that role for NHL general manager for 40 years. And it started in 1982 with the Washington Capitals, and he held that role for 15 seasons before he was hired to be the general manager of the Nashville Predators. And David Poile retired as GM during the 2023 NHL draft, and he passed the torch off, some would say, to Barry Trotz during that draft. And he's the only person who has been a general manager for at least 3,000 regular season games. 3,075, Lou Lamoriello was general manager with 2,838. And David Poile also became the first GM to win first GM to get 1,500 wins. And next is Lamoriello with 1,444 wins, and His teams made the playoffs in 29 of his 38 seasons as a general manager, so congratulations to David Poyle. Up next, we got Colin Campbell, who spent the 25 seasons with the NHL and hockey operations, officiating and central scouting, and he won the Stanley Cup as an associate coach for the New York Rangers in 1994, where Mark Messier led the team to the 1994 Stanley Cup win, breaking their 54-year drought. They got it done against the Vancouver Canucks that year. So, congratulations to all the Hockey Hall of Fame inductees. Obviously, we can't wait for them to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Notable candidates for next year, I would probably say Patrick Marleau or Pekka Rinne. I don't think Pekka Rinne is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. But either Patrick Marleau or Pekka Rinne, or we could see both of them in the Hockey Hall of Fame next year. Obviously, they were notable candidates to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame this year, but they didn't get in this year. Next year, we'll see if they'll get in. It would be cool to see them get in, especially Patrick Marleau for all the things that he's done in the NHL, passing Gordie Howe's record of playing in the NHL leader in all-time games played, I would say. All right, so we're going to get into the NHL awards now. So the NHL awards is tonight. We're not going to do a really breakdown description. I will just preview some of it, and I will give out predictions and to see who should win each award. So we're going to start off with the Hart Trophy. Of course, that goes to MVP of their team. Got Nikita Kucherov. We got Nathan MacKinnon. We got Connor McDavid. Two of these players won the Stanley Cup. So I would say give it to Connor McDavid. But Nikita Kucherov has also done great this season. I think they were two players to get 100-plus assists during the 2023-2024 season. But I think it should go to Connor McDavid, mostly because what he's done this season, beating the Oilers. Like, he believed the Oilers could win the Stanley Cup, and he done everything in the playoffs. He's put up some great numbers in the regular season. Like I say, getting 100-plus assists, and that's something that Kucherov did too. But no disrespect to Nikita Kucherov, but I think Connor McDavid should take home the award. Vezina Trophy goes to top goalies: Sergei Bobrovsky, Thatcher Demko, and Connor Hellebuck. I think it should go to Sergei Bobrovsky. I mean, what he's done in the playoffs and leading the Panthers to their first Stanley Cup win. I think Sergei Bobrovsky should win the Vezina Trophy. James Norris Memorial Trophy: Quinn Hughes, Roman Josi, Cale Makar. Now, Roman Josi and Cale Makar both won a Norris Trophy before. One of them, I don't know who to choose for this one, to be honest. But either Roman Josi or Cale Makar should take home it this year. I really don't know which one to choose, to be honest. I really don't. So this one I'm kind of in a deep hole for. But either Roman Josi or Cale Makar should take home the award this year. Or possibly Quinn Hughes, since the Canucks defeated the Predators in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But that one I was just kind of stuck on. All right, Calder Trophy. Of course, that goes to Rookie of the Year: Connor Bedard, Brock Faber, Luke Hughes. Might be a little bit biased on this one, but I think Connor Bedard deserves the award. I mean, he had a great rookie season with the Chicago Blackhawks, and despite missing out on the playoffs, I really think he does deserve winning the Calder Trophy. I would love to see Connor Bedard take home the Calder Trophy, and a little bit biased, mostly because I'm a Blackhawks fan. As you see this Jonathan Tage banner that's right behind me if you're watching this on YouTube. So I really think Connor Bedard should take home the Calder Trophy right there. Ted Lindsay Award goes to Most Outstanding Player: Nikita Kucherov, Nathan MacKinnon, or Austin Matthews. I would say either maybe Nikita Kucherov or Austin Matthews. Mostly Nikita Kucherov, because I think he led the NHL in point scoring this year. He's done a really great job with the Tampa Bay Lightning, a 2-time Stanley Cup champion right there. I really think Nikita Kucherov should take home the Ted Lindsay Award. All right, before we end the show, I did see that the Anaheim Ducks released their jerseys yesterday for the 2024-2025 NHL season. The LA Kings released their jerseys for their 2024-2025 season. We have got to talk about these jerseys. So, obviously, I can't show them to you right now because this is a podcast. But the jerseys, if you have seen them, I think they posted it on their Instagram and Facebook account. But those jerseys are like fire. Like, they add style to the room. And I've always been a fan of the Anaheim Ducks old logo, their Mighty Ducks logo. I never really liked the original the D logo. Like, not the Mighty Ducks logo, but I never really liked the D logo. Like, that was not my favorite. I think it's just like a plain old logo. But the iconic Mighty Ducks logo, that's like way better than just like the D logo that they had. I was never really a fan of those. Like, I didn't really like it as much. If I did a tier ranking video on my TG Hockey channel, I'd probably put that logo like way down at the bottom. Like, I was always a fan of the Mighty Ducks original logo. And Mighty Ducks is my favorite hockey movie. Growing up as a kid, I really loved Mighty Ducks. One of my favorite movies. And still is one of my favorite movies. Probably one of my top 5 favorite hockey movies. My other favorite hockey movies are Youngblood and Slapshot. And some other hockey movies I can't name right now. But Mighty Ducks, still my top 5. Of course, Miracle is another one of my favorite hockey movies I like. But Mighty Ducks will always be my top 5 favorite hockey movies right there. And that's where the Anaheim Ducks got their name from. They got it from the Mighty Ducks movie. And I've always been a fan of the original vintage logo and not just the D logo that they had there. So I really do love those Mighty Ducks jerseys. I have 2 Mighty Ducks jerseys. I had the Charlie Conway one from the movies. And then I had the reverse retro jersey that they had during the 2021-2022 season. I think that was when it was released. So yeah, I might get the orange Mighty Ducks jersey sometime. I kind of really have a bunch of NHL jerseys already. Most of them are Blackhawks jerseys because I'm a Blackhawks fan. So I don't know if I might get this jersey or not, but just adds more style to jersey. I really like that they put orange on it. Like I said, it adds more style. And I think the eyes, like, it's still the same Mighty Ducks logo, but I think the eyes are just like orange. Like, they put the eyes orange for that, whereas the original one, I think they were black. So, yeah. So, I really like that they added orange to style. Like I said, you can go check out the jerseys on their Instagram and Facebook account. I think Sportsnet had posted it. Of course, the Anaheim Ducks themselves, they posted it as well. So, you can go check it out on there. So I really do like those Anaheim Ducks jerseys. Now let's get into the LA Kings jersey. So the LA Kings are trying to have a little throwback, if you will. They threw it back. They're using their old logo. And they might still use their current logo, probably for like an alternate jersey, but for the home and away. Excuse me. Excuse me. But for the home and away jersey, they're just using their old vintage logo. And I really do like that, bringing back the original logo right there. Like, I'm a huge fan of that logo. And the Kings jerseys are not as good as the Mighty Ducks. I'm just going to say that point forward. I'm sorry if you're a Kings fan. I do like the jerseys, though, but they're not as good as the Mighty Ducks ones. The Mighty Ducks one, I feel like they added more style and more creation to the jersey. The Kings did the same thing too, but between that and the Mighty Ducks one, I like the Ducks one way better. But the Kings did a good job on their jerseys too. Don't get me wrong. I really do love the Kings jerseys as well. Throwing it back to their logo. if I had to rate both of them, I'd probably say the Kings jersey probably a 9 out of 10, and the Mighty Ducks just a 10 out of 10. Like if I had to rate them, either 8 or 9 out of 10 for the LA Kings, and for the Mighty Ducks a 10 out of 10. Like phenomenal job on the Mighty Ducks jerseys right there. For the Kings jerseys, one more thing I'll say, like I know Wayne Gretzky played for the Kings. He had like the original logo, original jersey stuff. The LA Kings are bringing that back. Really huge fan of that. So yeah. All right, guys. So that's gonna do it for this episode today. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Hockey Talk TG podcast. As always, really do appreciate it. I will see you guys probably either tomorrow or Monday to recap the awards and preview the draft. I'm still working on that Florida Panthers Stanley Cup championship mini movie. It's going to take me a couple of days to put that out on TG Hockey Channel. As you have not subscribed to that channel already, make sure you subscribe to it, and along with this podcast, and make sure you follow this podcast also. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God first, as always. Be blessed, and we'll see what happens this NHL all season. I think a few teams made a few trades already. I'll probably discuss those eventually, and yeah, and I'll see you guys next time.